Lesson 5-2, solving equations with variables on each side. The steps that you see here work for an equation like 3x equals x plus 8. You first, in this example, would want to write the equation like I did. You would add or subtract to move the variables together. So if you have a variable over here and a variable over here, you want to add or subtract first. So the variable on the left is being multiplied by something. You want to leave that one alone, whereas the variable on the right is adding, so you want to subtract it. Then you want to simplify, so you want to get it where both variables are on each side. And then you want to divide or multiply to leave the variable by itself. We will try a few examples next. Let's take a look at this example. 7x equals 5x plus 4. So there's an x on both sides, and one side is multiplying and adding, the other side is just multiplying. So the side that has the multiplication and adding, we're going to first subtract the 5x. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So the 5x on this side cancels out, but the 5x on the other side makes it a 2x equals 4. Now you're left with one variable, so to get the variable by itself, you divide by 2. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. And so x equals 4 divided by 2, which is 2. You're also able to go back and check this by plugging in the 2 for the original equation. So 7 times 2 equals 5 times 2 plus 4. 7 times 2 is 14. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 4, which is 14, so it would check out. Pause the video to try a few examples below. For the first example, we have an x that's multiplied by -3 and an x that's adding 4. So we're going to subtract this x, canceling them out, subtract x from this side, so we have -4x equals 4. Now you divide both sides by -4, and we get x equals -1. For this example, there's 3x equals x plus 8. Again, you subtract x from this side, so then you subtract x from the other side, and you get 2x equals 8. Divide by 2, and get x equals 4. Here's a different type of example where we actually have multiple things on each side. So what we typically do in this situation is you would subtract the lower number that contains the variable. So we have a 7y and a 4y. 4 is less than 7, so it's easier to subtract 4 from 7 than it is to subtract 7 from 4, because then you get negative numbers. So we are going to rewrite the equation just to make it a little bit larger so that we can do what we need to do. Then we're going to subtract 4y from this side, leaving -10. So we will subtract 4y over here. So now we have 3y plus 8 equals -10. Now, remembering that we're always trying to get the variable alone, you want to ask yourself, what's happening to my variable? Well, here, we're multiplying it by 3 and adding 8. So we actually want to do the opposite of PEMDAS. So you first want to add or subtract. So we're going to subtract 8 and subtract 8 over here. So we're left with 3y equals -18. Now you need to multiply or divide. We divide both sides by 3 and we get y equals -6. We can also use multi-step equations and equations on both sides when looking at word problems or real-life examples. So here's one that we can take a look at. A personal trainer charges a one-time fee of $60 plus $25 for each individual session. A new fitness club charges a yearly fee of $450 plus $10 for each session with a personal trainer. Write a solvent equation to determine for what number of sessions will the costs be equal. So the very first key word here is equal. That tells you that you want something on one side and something on the other to be equal to each other. So we want the personal trainer charges and the fitness club charges to be equal. So for the first one, we have a one-time fee of $60 plus $25 for each individual session. So let's just use S as the session. And then the new fitness club charges $450 for a year plus the $10 for each session. And again, they want these to be equal. So there's the first step, which is writing the equation. And now we can solve. So we first want to subtract 10s from both sides. And we get 60 plus 15s equals 450. Now we do PEMDAS backwards, so we're going to subtract 60 from both sides. We're left with 15s equals 390. Then you can divide both sides by 15, which leaves you per session they are going to pay $26. Pause the video to complete the lesson review. Make sure you show this lesson review for verification of this video.